Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Well, happy mid-January. I hope your resolutions for this year are going well. Please leave a dislike if your New Year's resolutions for this year are doing well. This past month, I realized that I have some work to do on my resolution to have a good relationship with food, if you will. I made the resolution, believe it or not, all the way back in 2020 to have a good, solid relationship with food. In 2019, I had caused a lot of drama in my social and my professional life due to my inability to control my own food cravings. I had lost a number of professional opportunities. I had lost a number of friends. My favorite example was one job that I didn't get. What had happened was I was interviewing for a tutoring agency where it was a position, you'd go to people's homes to tutor kids. And what had happened was, the interview was, if I remember correctly, at 10 a.m. I was sitting at home at 9 a.m. thinking about going to my favorite grocery store to pick up my favorite bag of chips to calm my nerves and then go to the interview. I would have plenty of time to get to the interview after getting my chips, eating and all that. Got to the store. It was a very familiar grocery store, but they sold out of the chips for some. That was if I remember correctly, aside from all the wackiness in the years to come, that was the only time they were sold out of those chips. And so I'll let you pause the video to think what happened next. Well, I got lost and confused, wandering around the grocery store, thinking about what to eat instead, and for some reason, I paced around the grocery store for 20 or 30 minutes, just lost and confused. I do that a lot, by the way, not necessarily just with food. I've done this when I went to my social media to quickly check things and the internet was down. I get myself lost and confused when that happens. I get lost and confused when anything out of the ordinary happens. I need to get better at quickly regrouping my thoughts when stuff like that happens. I don't do it with food as much anymore, and I'm proud of that, at least. There are other food-related challenges I want to talk about, though. So, anyways, I didn't get that job, but you know what? It was a blessing in disguise, because I got other opportunities. Looking back at it, that was the only time before COVID, obviously, that the store ever ran out of that brand of chips. It's I forget what brand that is, but it's made with avocado oil. I'll probably leave a comment when I find out what it is. But so 2020 came around. I made a resolution to have a good relationship with food. I had ruined several vacations as a result of not finding my favorite food. I had lost a girlfriend over it. I had missed one job and lost a different job over it. And we were beginning a new decade. I made a resolution. Well, 2 months into the resolution, I got the real test of a lifetime. I went to the store and none of my favorite foods were available. Toilet paper was out. And then you have to keep 6 feet away from other people, and you have to be really patient. Right, long lines, and that was a real good test. Unfortunately, this past month, I noticed a big problem. I have a hard time dealing with social interactions when they also involve food. I can handle food alone. I can kind of handle social environments. You put them together, it just doesn't. Let me give you a couple examples. One of my favorite fast food meals is Five Guys, because they make their fries out of pure peanut oil. I have allergies to various things. So now this is a study room here at Grand Canyon University. Now as an employee here, we also have a break room, an adjunct office and all that. Now a typical Five Guys restaurant is pretty loud, right? You got the cashier who's screaming, "Order number 21." You got customers who can be loud, and so I would certainly prefer to have a quiet environment, like the break room at the adjunct office, to have my Five Guys meal. But I've actually never brought Five Guys to the break room. I usually eat it in the restaurant anyway, even though it's a little bit less than ideal. I'll let you pause the video to think about why that is. Well, in order to get unless I order it online, right, which also doesn't turn out very well. A lot of times, things like Five Guys fries never come out right when they're delivered. They come out all soggy and cold, right? I've done it a couple of times, right? When I was recovering from COVID, I did it a few times. It didn't taste right. I mean, I'll settle for it when I'm dealing with COVID. The alternative is the Five Guys is 2-3 miles from here, right? Not really walking distance. I gotta put it in my car and drive it to the adjunct office. And the smell of the Five Guys in the car will drive me nuts. I was actually thinking about this earlier this week. And I thought about getting an airtight cooler of some sort to put in the car just for this purpose, if you can believe it. All right. But there's another problem. When I eat, I get myself completely immersed in the meal. And I don't like social interactions when this is one thing I gotta correct. To give you an idea how badly I despise it, a couple weeks ago, I went on a date with a girl. And it's kind of interesting. She had made a resolution that she wanted to start dating again after all these years. She claims she hasn't been on a date since she was 16 years old, if you can believe it. But when I went out with her, my food didn't taste right. Because when I have to hold a conversation and hold thoughts in my head and have to watch my table manners, it really detracts from the taste of the food. Long story short, I haven't gone on a second date with her after that. In large part because I didn't want to sacrifice my enjoyment of the food. I know, it sounds weird. Now, earlier today, I was at the Five Guys, and so my experience was loudly punctuated by this panhandler. Downtown Phoenix can be a little bit shady at times. And this guy loudly exclaims that he's 57 cents short of getting whatever his favorite meal is. I don't know why. Leave a comment. Why do panhandlers these days always ask for these very specific, strange amounts? It just sounds so weird. But I ignored him. I was completely immersed in my food. I completely ignored him, and he had the audacity to wave at me. Had he not done that and walked away, I might have been guilted to give him the 57 or whatever it is. But the fact that he waved at me really annoyed the fuck out of me, and so I ghosted him for the rest of my experience there. But it was upsetting. I tend to get my head buried into my food when I'm in the middle of a meal. I think part of the reason my eating disorder has played out this way, I think it's an artifact of the fact that I first made my resolution to normalize my relationship with food in 2020. So now all of my solutions to how to deal with eating disorders revolves around the 2020 environment. I think that's why I can't handle eating in a social environment. So anyways, I need to reboot my resolution so I can handle how to eat properly in a 2024 environment. I think that's what it is. Feel free to leave a comment. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.